Runners Weekly. This is week 11 of the 2021 season. We are out at long last live on YouTube. It's Thursday night, and we are talking about your 15th ranked Charlotte 49ers baseball team. As always, this is Nick, joined by Kevin.
What's up, Donner Nation?
Live from Norfolk, Virginia, Coach Woody.
Hey, everybody.
And behind the scenes, making it all happen, producer Brad.
Hey, hey.
All right. We got a lot to talk about. We got to get Coach Woody in bed. He's got like baseball to play tomorrow and stuff. So let's get into this. We appreciate everybody tuning in. If you are listening live on YouTube, chime in the chat function and say hello. We know you're out there. Thanks for staying up with us. You can also hit us up on Twitter during the show, questions and comments. Always welcome. So what I'm going to drop out here, I appreciate everybody being patient and waiting on us to get on here. Coach Woody's not going to say this, but I am. We appreciate him coming on so much every week. And this dude has been on a bus all day with baseball players. Got to Norfolk, went to practice, conducted practice, got back to the hotel. I don't even know, Coach, if you've had dinner yet or not. But when he's done with this, we're trying to talk him into going to bed. He's saying he's going back over there to work on some Old Dominion game notes after this. So this dude is, I mean, he's like the Energizer Bunny, and we can't thank him enough for taking a little bit of time to talk about Niner baseball. So
no, it's awesome. I look forward to this every week, and it's a big part of connecting with everyone, and I love talking about our players and our program, and the people that listen to this program and this podcast are the biggest supporters of our program, and they care the most. So, it's the least we can do to come on here and talk Niner baseball.
All right, Coach, here's what we're going to do. We got a little clip we want to play from you. This is from last week's show. We got a clip. Producer Brad's going to play it for us, and then we're just going to jump in from there. So, cool. Producer Brad, what you got for us?
I'll spread it to our fan base and all of our supporters. Like let's have that mindset. What if tomorrow goes great? What if this weekend goes great? What if the rest of the season goes great? Let's just keep going.
How'd it go, Coach?
Went great. We've got so much belief in our players and this coaching staff and the support staff and all the work that's been done leading up to this last weekend and Tuesday that, it's time to play. I mean, it's April 29th. It's time to play. Practice is important. Training is important. Rest is important. All those things are important. But, this time of year, you want to play baseball and you want to play high level baseball. Like you want to play the best, and you want to be in meaningful games. So, that's we're in the thick of it right now, and it's a lot of fun.
So we're going to kind of walk through these. It's such an exciting week of baseball. And believe me, we'll get to Tuesday night because your perspective on that's going to be fantastic. I know a lot of people are anxious to hear how that went. But let's go back to last weekend. Friday, unusual, long day of baseball, back-to-back games, 18 innings of baseball on Friday, starting with McGowan. And as he's done all season, Bryce kind of came out and set the tone there on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, no, I mean, he did what Bryce does. He gives us 6 strong innings. He puts us in a position to win. And virtually each and every time, I think, one pitch, their hitter put a really good swing on, right? That landed, just over the wall. I mean, it scraped it, but that's how it goes against really good teams. And, to your point, he set the tone for us, and he's done that each and every week for us. And, I thought he raised his ceiling. I thought when I said that, I think I said that earlier in the week to somebody. When I thought Bryce raised his ceiling was the glimpses of his best pitches were at a higher level. They were his fastball was even more elite at times. His slider was even more elite at times, and his changeup was even more elite at times. Not necessarily that it was, his best performance, because I don't think he would say that. But there were stretches where the way the ball was coming out of his hand was at another level. So that was great to see as far as trending up as we get into May here and start playing even more meaningful games. That was great.
Yeah, Coach, you said Bryce set the tone on the mound. Offensively, we definitely set the tone in the first inning. Gruber led off with a walk, then a double from Knight, which is odd, and then a 3-run blast from McCabe just put us up 3-0 right out the gate. I think we barreled up a lot of balls in that first inning. I thought we were going to score a lot of runs on that day in the first game. Talk about the offense in that first inning, setting the tone, Coach.
Yeah, no, they did. Those guys did a tremendous job. It's hard to believe that was our only home run on the weekend, I believe. But we did hit 10 doubles and we hit 295 for the weekend and did a lot of things well offensively, and it all started right there. So, that was certainly great to see, and it lets our pitching staff not relax, but it gives us a little bit more freedom to be a little bit more aggressive to the edges and a little bit more aggressive on some chase, and so that was great.
You talked about the pitching, you talked about the offense, and then defensively, made some great plays in that game. One that comes to mind was the Elwood throw to McKeithen to get the tying run at the plate in that 8th inning.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's a game-winning championship type play by Todd, and the throw was perfect. And for Aaron to hang on to it and be in the position that he was in to put the tag on, it was just tremendous. I mean, it's so cool from the coaching's perspective, is because every day in practice we do team fundamental drills, and those team fundamental drills, it's all defense oriented with the full team. And we basically run through sets of 4 situations. And one of the last situations we do is an outfield do or die play. And we do it every day virtually. And the biggest thing we emphasize is finishing the play, because a lot of times it's a guy he'll close on the ball quick like Todd did, and he'll get rid of the ball quick like Todd did, and he'll make a great throw on line like Todd did. But then, if in practice, it's really easy to ball kicks off the top of the glove, or, whatever it may be. You just don't quite finish that play. And Aaron did it, I mean, he did, he finished it. And it was great seeing all the guys react and get fired up. And that gave us a ton of momentum for not only the rest of that game, but for the rest of the weekend.
I don't want to be, I guess I am, but I don't want to be overly dramatic about this, but I mean, that's one of the key plays of the season right now. I mean, Isn't it? I mean, that's every season you get 4 or 5 plays that are just the deciding plays. And that's one of them right now.
Absolutely. I mean, and we've talked about it in previous weeks, how for us to go where we want to go, we can't dribble the ball at half court. We have to attack the game. We have to make things happen. And, if Woody's conservative there and he sits back and, doesn't have – I mean, he's sold out to close on it. He's sold out to get rid of it, and he made a great throw, and AMAC hung in there and made a great tag. There was that sense of urgency to make a play by everybody involved. And, that's what it takes. That's what it takes, is if that ball is 5 feet to the right or 5 feet to the left or kicks out of AMAC's glove, it changes everything. And that's how this time of year, I hate to say it, but that's what's required to go where we want to go. Those and I'm not, and I don't mean that in the sense of, yes, that's what, that's what we have to do. But I mean it in the sense of, the places we want to go as a team and a program, those are, we've got to step up, we've got to step up and, or I should better say, when we have the opportunity to step up, we do it.
Yeah, and just for a long time followers of the program, there's just something special about watching an Elwood host somebody from the outfield. that's been going on at the Hayes for a long, long time. And Elwood just absolutely hosing somebody, and McKeithen making the tag. Huge stuff. So we move on. We move on to game 2. And Morosis gives us a good start, but they kind of shifted correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, but they kind of shifted their order around a little bit and went with Gregory in game 2. And Gregory came in and really did. I mean, he's a phenomenal pitcher, and he gave us all we wanted in game 2.
Yeah, he's really good. I mean, he's one of the best pitchers in our conference, and we knew that was going to be a challenge. And like you said, I thought Austin looked really good. I thought his stuff looked as good as it's been. Again, I think if you could just go through pitch by pitch and delete about 5, he probably throws, I think he went 5 innings. He probably goes seven shutout innings, maybe gives up a run if you could just delete 5 pitches. I mean, it's that the difference between, his outing, the results of his outing, and really going toe-to-toe with Gregory or even out pitching Gregory in that outing is probably like 5, maybe 6 pitches. So it's I know he was frustrated, but he's had the look of a man on a mission since he came out of that game and since he walked in the weight room Saturday. So I'm excited. He's probably, honestly, that's probably the start I'm most looking forward to this weekend is Austin Morosis.
Yeah, that'll be – well, we're looking forward to that too. We're looking forward to them all. So with that, and that's just – we almost get back in that game, frankly. I mean, the air in the stadium, was kind of like everybody, kind of got lulled in. But all of a sudden, 2 innings in a row, we bring the tying run to the plate right there at the end. So that game, it got really competitive at the end. So the guys showed plenty of fight there. It was great. Then Saturday, you guys worked out in the indoor facility while it rained. I think that day off right there, I know that's not normal, but it happened for the obvious reasons. But I think that day off right there changed the complexion of the series. What do you think?
Yeah, no question. I mean, it's 4-game series it's a gauntlet. There's no getting around it. However, having a full day to really, you go really long day on Friday, but then you get to regroup, recover, regame plan, and, get back out on Sunday and have another long day. Because these days are long no matter what. Even if you play one, like tomorrow's going to be a long day. We leave the hotel at 11:30. We play at 3. We're not going to come home until 8 o'clock at night, 8:30. So it's whether you play 1 9-inning or 2 9-innings, it's a long day for these guys. So having a day of recovery like that, it changes it. I also think it changed. And we talked about it as a coaching staff. We felt like, we feel like in this format this weekend where you play 9 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, or 2 7s on Saturday, and a 9 on Sunday, we feel like more often than not, it's going to come down to the bullpens more often than not. Because, especially because on Saturday, it's a doubleheader. So more than likely you're not going to throw certain your relievers 2 times in one day. And some guys probably threw the day before. So it's really gonna push your bullpen depth. Now, the 2 9s on Friday, you can kind of game plan your relievers a little bit more, and then they get a day to recover. And then you have 2 7s on Sunday, which we saw, and you said, you might get a complete game. It's tough to bank on 2, but it's a little bit less. So we felt like with the format of 2 9s, day off, 2 7s, we thought that it was more going to come down to the starting pitchers. We felt like the team that gets the best starts on the mound, more than likely, if it's even offensively, and which it pretty much was, and well, I give us the nudge on offense, but if it's even on defense and it's even on base running, then and even bullpens, it's gonna come down to starting pitching in that format. So, and I felt like I said, Austin Moroses, he's probably 5 or 6 pitches away from having a really, really strong start. And then we got a really good start from Bryce, and then, exceptional starts from Andrew and Brooksy.
Yeah, well, and I know Kevin wants to get in here and talk about the offensive output on Sunday with the doubleheader with the 2 7s, but just go ahead briefly and jump on the topic of the starting pitching on Sunday. I said at the time, and I don't know that someone out there may have a better idea than this one, but if we have had 2 starting performances on the same day that match up to those, because Lindsey was fantastic, and I just remember thinking in between games, if Matt can do anywhere near that, then we're in great shape. And son of a gun, Matt just came out like it was. I mean, probably behind the scenes, maybe you clue us in on this, if Andrew and Matt are competing behind the scenes with each other, like anything you can do, I can do better. But Andrew was phenomenal. And then Matt just was, this was Matt Brooks of, this was Matt Brooks of 2018. Just a phenomenal start from him.
Yeah, Andrew's the one pitcher on our staff that I feel comfortable extending into that 120, 130 plus range. He's kind of built for it. He's kind of trained for it. I think like his 105th, 106th fastball was 96, and he long tosses all the time. And he's just a long, like, if I look at pitchers a lot like runners. Like some guys are sprinters, some guys are distance sprinters, some guys are distance runners, and all whatever, and then there's other types too. But Lindsey's the pitcher that he can go at a high pace for a long time and hold it. He'd be the equivalent of our marathon runner. Like he can go a long time. It's not and he can get stronger as he goes.
I think he was still touching 94 in that last inning, if I recall.
Yeah. Yeah. He can, he can. And if I went out there and I took a mound visit and I said, hey, this is your last hitter. This is your, at 125 pitches, and I said, hey, this is your last hitter. Empty the tank. He'd probably hit 96. He'd probably go 95, 96, 96 to empty the tank. He's that kind of competitor. He's that kind of, that pitcher who gets stronger as the game goes. And he was just such a warrior. He was such a warrior, and we were doing all we could to try to let him finish it right there. But once we got to that matchup and we had Lothus available and he was ready and he was fresh, as much as we would like to have saved Christian for the next game, we actually said in the dugout, heck, Matt Brooks might throw a complete game, and then we've saved, and so CeeLo came in and threw 4 pitches and slammed the door, and Brooksy did what, was vintage Matt Brooks. And honestly, that was one of the best performances I've seen in my 10, 11 years coaching. It really was. I don't care to get up a solo home run. That was one of the best pitch games I have seen since I've been a coach. It was awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, it was a great day of pitching. You do all this work. You got the bullpens fresh for Sunday, and then we use them for 1 out. And I know that's got to be a great feeling. Knowing that you got so much big starts out of those guys.
Yeah, it put us in a position for Tuesday. That's where it translates. I mean, not that we wouldn't have been able to win on Tuesday had we had to use our those guys on Sunday, because we have other guys that are certainly capable of doing that. But I mean, that's every guys stepping up this time of year. It dominoes into some other successes. And other guys see, other guys watch Brooksy and how he goes about it. And there's young guys like Gus Hughes and Spencer Geesting, and they're probably watching and saying, I can do that. And that builds confidence throughout a pitching staff. So, it was just so great. I was so proud of Matt and Aaron McKeithen and Jacob Whitley. It's just, it's the battery combination of those guys. The work that they're putting in is huge.
Yeah, and I mentioned offensively in Game 3, we kind of traded runs a little bit early, but then we had a big fifth inning. I think Knight had the big hit with the bases loaded, the bases clearing double. I think that was the exclamation point on the victory. And then in the second game, we scored one in the first, and then we had a huge second inning. I think Elwood had a ribby, Lally had a ribby, and Butch had an RBI. I think McKeithen had a couple good hits in there. Then ODU had a crucial error that led to 3 unearned runs. I think we put up 6 in the second, and then it was just cruise control from there. It seemed like Matt was hitting on all cylinders, so it was a great feeling watching that game wind down.
Yeah, no, it was great. Like you said, I mean, and guys strung it together. They strung it together all weekend against a really good pitching staff and a really good team. I mean, Nick Pantos for them. He's still, we'll see him again this weekend. And, I mean, Pantos and Gregory, those no discredit to their other 2 stars, but those 2 guys are really, really good. You're going to see those guys get picked, professionally and probably turn on TV in a couple of years and see those guys pitch in the big leagues. I mean, they're really good pitchers.
So big weekend, Niners get 3 out of 4. And really puts the club in the driver's seat in the conference standings. Another big weekend, which we'll talk about, of course, but so many eyeballs were on this series nationally, as far as, who was going to get the upper hand, who was going to, how were these 2 ranked teams going to come out against one another? And as you said, what if it goes great? And it did. So this opens up, I mean, listening to national podcasts and reading articles. I mean, people are talking about the Charlotte 49ers, and people are talking about the Charlotte 49ers potentially being in position to host, which is, and all time, all these, it's the highest ranking in program history. It's, I mean, I seriously, I had one of those just moments at my desk this working where they're going, where, they're discussing, listening to like D1 podcasts, their nerdcast. Oh, Charlotte's definitely on that host line. Oh, just no, said just matter of fact. Oh, Charlotte right now, you got it. They're in. They're. You're talking about changing mindset. I'm just sitting there like, holy crap, I can't believe I'm sitting here listening to this. This is unbelievable, And I know you said that stuff that's off, that's off the radar for you, as it should be. But on this side of things, we listen to all that stuff. We read all that stuff. We're consuming all that information. And to hear people, just let it rolls off the tongue so easy. Oh yeah, Charlotte. Yeah, put them on the host line for sure. With what they're doing right now. Can you believe that? You got 3 out of 4. I mean, no brainer. So cool stuff. Now,
it's cool.
We need to talk about Tuesday night.
Okay.
And it's an awesome game. Okay. And we're going to talk about that. But let's start with you. Okay. I know you don't like talking about you, but you want to talk about your guys. I know. And we're going to do it. But let's just spend a minute. Step out of character for a minute and just talk about your experience going back to that place, that town, that campus, that stadium, the whole thing, and just Robert Woodard's experience being back there in that environment.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's hard to put into words, Nick. I mean, it really is. I mean, I told Foxy after the game when I was talking about it, it was, it's just, I don't know. I think everybody's got certain places in their life that when you go there, whether it's the house you grew up in or where you went to college or what, there's I think everybody's got a place or two that's just it's just special. It's just special. And for me, my two places are Charlotte, North Carolina, where I grew up and went to elementary, middle school, and high school, and made my closest friends. And my second place is Chapel Hill, where I went to college and I spent 4 years as a player and 5 years as an assistant coach. So I've spent, good part of, 2/3 of my life, in those two places, and 9 to 10 years in Chapel Hill, virtually with the same, most of the same people, with Coach Fox and Coach Forbes, and being the kind of the central figures. And, the cool thing for me is I went to UNC the fall of 2003. So that means that I got to get to know all the guys from that 2000, 2001, 2002 teams that were older. And then I was in the program through 2007. So that's basically 2000, 2007. I know or, come across every single player in that program in that window. And then I played minor leagues for 2.5 years, and I came back and coached in 10. So I still pretty much stayed connected with everybody in that program from that little 2.5 year stint I was in the minor leagues. But then from 2010 to 2012, I started coaching. So pretty much everybody at UNC from 2010 to 2012, and then the next 2 or 3 years after that, whether I helped recruit or even as the volunteer, or there's long, pretty much from 2000 to 2021 is what I'm trying to say, is like I've pretty much played with, coached, befriended, recruited just about every single player, and then worked with or played for every single coach in that program, in some capacity, just because of the timing of my stays there. So again, long story short, I've got a lot of memories there. I've made a lot of friends there. I've had some incredible highs and some incredible lows. That's part of it too. It's like when you get your heart broken, in 2 national championships, that forms a special bond with a lot of people, because we all went through it together. So it's just my first home is Charlotte, my second home is Chapel Hill, and those worlds collided for me when, and I'm very thankful to be on the bus that I was on, and coming in the visitor section and walking down the visitor side, and being in that, being in the dugout I was in. I wouldn't change it for anything, because I love everything about this group of guys, this team, this program, this city, this university, and everything that's going on right now. It's special. So, but those worlds collided, and I couldn't be more proud of our team and the level of play they played. They didn't just win; they played really well, and that's what I'm most proud about.
Kevin, what was that stat you had? Was 22-0 as a starter at the Bosch, and now 1-0 as a head coach. Am I getting that right?
That's right.
Yeah. I remember the starts. I remember the starts that I should have lost better than the starts that I won.
Let me throw in. We've got a couple things. Producer Brad's feeding me from info from the folks tuning in on the chat. Let me drop these in here real quick so they don't think we forgot about them. Coach, you got a big fan named Hutch, and Hutch is in your corner. He wants you to keep going, doing what you're doing, and go get him this weekend. Our friend Randy Peterson. Randy's listening tonight. Great stuff. Appreciate all you guys do, and happy for coaching the team. So thank you, Randy.
Thanks, Randy.
Listening in, getting ready for a weekend of Niner baseball. Man, so many people are so pumped up about what these guys are doing, Coach. It is so fantastic to see just how many people just want to be a part of this, and that's what it's all about.
It is.
So, yeah, I'm sorry, Kevin. I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was just going to jump into the game on Tuesday.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's what we want to talk about, right? That's what Woody wants to talk about. Let's talk about the game.
Let's talk about the game, not practice.
So you went with Starnes. Starnes, I got to start. He said the bullpen was rested. I think he pitched maybe one. Did he pitch one inning on the weekend? Yeah, I think he pitched one inning on the weekend, and then he got the start on Tuesday.
Yeah, 1 inning on the weekend, 2 at App State.
Yeah. So we had 5 shutout innings for Starnes. Longest of his career. Can't remember how many strikeouts he had, but kept him off balance. Got a couple guys on, but had some great defensive plays, like the throw from Palali, cutting down the run at home. I think I was in the second or third inning. Talk about the outing from Starnes that he gave you on Tuesday, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about someone stepping up and just such a clutch performance. I mean, I guess it does, but at this point of the season, that's about as clutch as it gets. Right there is coming off of a 4-game series. He started for a hitter at UNC Greensboro to match up, but you really hadn't gotten a full-on start and gotten the opportunity to go deep, and gosh, did he seize and make the most of it. And he was in control. He was in total control the entire outing. Even when there was traffic, the pulse, never saw the pulse go up, never saw him break a sweat. He stayed in it one pitch at a time, and you could just see him fighting to make the best pitch of his ability and trust that whatever happened was going to happen. And, we felt like once that runner got on the 6th with how, we knew he'd thrown an inning on the weekend and he threw 2. So, that's about 9 or 10 innings in the course of a week. And that's the deepest he had gone. And we had a fresh Spencer Giesting available. We felt like in the 6th that was the right time to make that move there. And I know Trey got a big applause from, the Niner Nation that was in Chapel Hill, and he certainly deserved it. I mean, that was a cool moment on the mound. You could see him, once I called in for Spencer, you could see that, he knew the outing was over, and he was staying in the moment and staying present and soaking it all in, and couldn't happen to a better dude than Trey Starnes. I mean, he's worked as hard as anybody on our team the last year. And you never know when these opportunities are going to come. We talk about that all the time in our program, and he made the most of it. And here we go. We knew he could do it, and we knew he was capable, but that's not going to be the last time you see Trey Starnes start a game for us. I can assure you.
What I was thinking about as that unfolded was, and we've been on sort of both sides of this, but you guys see these guys in practice and you watch them work, and that's not a perspective that the rest of us get. So, if before the game you walk up to me and you say, Nick, we're going to start Trey Starnes tonight, and he's going to go, 5 shutout innings, I'm going to say, I'm down for that, Woody, but is that he's kind of a situational guy. Is he really gonna pull that off? And you're like, yeah, he's gonna do it. And then he does it, right? I mean, and I would have completely lost. I don't be mad at me, Starnesy. I would have completely lost any bet that you made with me right there, because that was that just wasn't his role. That is not what we're normally asking him to do, like you said. But the thought I had on this was, whenever it's always a conference tournament time. And we've been on both sides of this. When you get to Sunday in a conference tournament, Bryce McGowan is used.
Right.
Christian Lothus is used. Brooksy's used. All his guys. Andrew's used. Who's out there is Trey Starnes.
Yep.
that's who's out there on Sunday.
Yeah. And there's others. And that's the cool thing right now is our coach staff, we know there are others. But Trey's one of our best competitors, one of our biggest competitors. And that was a big reason, on top of the matchup splits, when you look at UNC's offense versus righties and lefties, it's very different. But ultimately we decided on Trey because we felt like, we felt like he's one of our best competitors.
And the other part of that is, and you touched on this earlier, is Tuesday night really started Sunday afternoon.
Yep.
With the bullpen basically getting the day off. I mean, you had any direction you wanted to go.
Yeah,
and you definitely went to the lefty.
Yep. Yeah, we went left.
Lefty,
we went
lefty.
left and finished with Jackson.
You know what game that reminds me of, Kevin? What at NC State? What year? Oh, geez. Jacob Craver. We went. NC State could not hit lefties, and we went Craver. We went. Oh gosh, we went like 4 lefties, and NC State couldn't handle them, and we took them out up there in Raleigh. It was a fantastic night. What was that, about 4 years ago? Man, I know.
We gotta be careful. We gotta be careful.
I put everybody on the spot. I put myself on the spot because my memory's so bad at this point. But that happened. We were going lefty, 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 and that's kind of what we did on Tuesday night. We did it at NC State, and we did it at Chapel Hill on Tuesday.
We'll probably see, not to get ahead of ourselves, but we very easily could see that team again. So
now, how many innings were you thinking this was going to go, Coach? When once we got to 9 and we're going into extras, because nobody really seemed to have the upper hand in that matchup. Every time one team acted, the other reacted, and it just seemed like this was going to go for a while.
No, it definitely did. And actually, I went out in the 7th inning because Forbes and I have known each other forever, and we didn't really have too many ground rules to go over as far as that goes. Pretty aware of the ground rules at that stadium, but we didn't talk about the extra inning. We didn't talk about international rules or straight up. So I went out there in the 7th and I said, "Hey guys," I said, what are we playing extra innings? Are we playing straight up? Or are we playing international? And they said, "Oh, well," they're like, "That's right. We didn't talk about it." They're like, "Well, if it didn't come up, then it's straight up." So in the 7th inning, I was already thinking to myself, this is probably going to go at least 10. I was more like mentally prepared for like 12, 13, 14 innings. It just kind of had that feel. But from a pitching standpoint, I was really game planning for at least 10.
You're pretty accurate then, Coach. Let's go through that. Let's go through that top of the 10th inning. Great inning, like I said, back and forth game, 0-0. And then in the 10th inning, the Niners struck first. Keithan got the walk to get it started. Pinch ran with Parker Stinnett. Parker Stinnett went first and third on Carson. Carson got a nice hit to right field, and they reviewed the play. Stinnett was safe at third. It was big going first and third on that, and then safety squeeze with Austin Knight. Stinnett stayed put at third. Knight goes first. We got bases loaded for Dom. And then the explosion, we get the triple to the gap. 3 runs in, and that was pretty much all we needed. We did get an insurance run on a Bush hit a sac fly to bring Dom in, but put up 4-0. Take us through that top of the 10th. It was so exciting to watch on TV. Tell us how was it in person from the dugout?
Yeah, no, I mean, AMAC drawing a huge walk to lead us off there, and Coach Bick, he's got such a great mind for base running. He said, we were talking about when AMAC is up, we usually have Parker ready to run. That's kind of been a move that we've been using the last couple of weeks. But we didn't know how many innings the game was going to go. We didn't know if we were going to need AMAC to catch more or come back and hit more. But we're sitting there talking. We're like, Jacob Whitley's looked great. He's looked great for us behind the plate, and so we don't feel like we lose anything there with how he's been playing and catching. And I think everybody knows Parker's a little bit faster than AMAC. So, I'm sorry, AMAC, but the
things you learn listening to Diamond Arts Weekly.
but Coach Bick said it. He goes, because we talked about it, I was like, well, do we wait until there's 2 outs? Do we wait until he's at second base? And Coach Bick, he said it. He goes, if Carson hits a single, we need to go first to third. And I said, you're right. And so we called time, and that's when we made the switch. Is like once we both agree, once Coach Bick said that, and we both I instantly agreed, and then we made the switch, and it was the first pitch. I mean, it was the first pitch of the at bat. So it's not the kind of thing where we didn't have a couple of pitches to feel out the at bat. It was if Coach Bick hadn't stepped up and said what he said, I don't know if we make that move, and it's probably first and second there, which is just different. It's just different than first and third, and then that gave us the ability to safety squeeze and Parker didn't get a great look at the down angle of the ball. Wasn't sure if he could get there, and then Nick Pryther, the pitcher on the mound, is a really good athlete. He closed on the ball pretty fast and flipped it to it quick, which worked out for us from the standpoint that loaded the bases for Dom. And, there I think they had a tough decision because I saw a lefty warming up down in the bullpen, and I didn't know. I think it was Caden O'Brien, left-handed pitcher for UNC, and we thought that they were going to make a pitching change. It's just one of those tough situations that all coaches get in. Whether it's you're looking at numbers, you're going off of your eyes, you're going off of what their pitchers have done previous appearances, and sometimes those situations there isn't a win-win, I guess, for them necessarily in that situation. And I only say that because Dominic Law is a really good hitter and the bases were loaded, and he put a great swing on against Pry, who had been shutting us down for a number of innings up to that point. So not an easy thing to do. And Dom came through with just such a clutch hit, and God, he was rolling around the bases. I mean, he was flying, and came sliding into third hard. And then to your point, like you said, we got the sac fly to right, which Caleb Roberts has a plus arm in right field. He almost threw Parker out at third, and and then comes back and bang play at the plate where that gets reviewed a little frustratingly because I saw him pretty clearly touch home. But
everybody saw him clearly touch home.
Thankfully, we have replay, and there was no need to get fired up on that one. So we got that fourth run, and then it was Jackson's turn, and he's been a little bit under the weather, and just competed greatly to seal the deal.
Fantastic night. I mean, it was awesome to watch and see, and I know it was great there. And it sounds like we had a lot of folks make the trip, and maybe even had some Niners doing a function there or something like that. And so it sounds like there was plenty of green in Chapel Hill on Tuesday night.
There was a lot of it on the first base side. It was awesome to see.
Fantastic. Awesome. So, all right, let's take a look at some of these other stories. Well, one thing we're going to drop in, because we're going to talk rankings here in a minute, but need to mention some hardware because, well, we like that. Austin Knight picked up Conference USA Hitter of the Week, which is of surprising to no one because Austin Knight rakes. And if you don't know that, where you've been. National ranking stuff. We mentioned this. We always pick out the poll that has us the highest, and that's been D1 consistently. Shocking. D1 guys have spent a lot of time watching our team, and they always give us a lot of respect. So imagine that. 15th in the D1 baseball poll, 17th in the USA Today, 17th in the NCBWA. I look forward to saying that every week, NCBWA. Baseball Writers poll, 17th in the Perfect Game poll. And, hey, Baseball America, 19th. Baseball America is catching up even. So, good stuff. Again, Coach, I know that stuff's for the fans, but we're fired up about it. It's cool to see our name, and not our name, but the new logo. When they make these graphics And that C, that all in C, it looks like the one Kevin's hat there. It looks like it belongs with all those other. I mean, it's fantastic.
It's awesome. No, it looks really good.
Oh, one more, 25th in collegiate baseball. Forgot that one. So anyway, we're getting rankings, and you know what? They're just for this week, right? You just gotta go improve yourself again this weekend, which we'll talk about. Kevin, let's in the spirit of awards, let's walk Coach through the weekly awards and see what we come up with, and I bet we might know who some of these people are. We could probably guess, but let's see who the coaching staff gave the awards for this week.
All right. Coach, first up, we got Leadership Effort Attitude Award. I'm sure there are plenty to choose from with the big four victories on the week. I guess they're not counting Tuesday, only counting the weekend. So
it's still 4 victories from last Tuesday.
That's right, from last Tuesday. You're right.
You were right the first time. There you
go. Yeah, no, I'm looking at it right here in front of me. It's our leadership effort and attitude. That was Matt Brooks. It was Brooksy for his gutsy performance. It was for his gutsy performance there on Sunday. You know, he just does all the little things. You know, he's the game 4 starter. He's not going to start the game until 5:30 in the afternoon, but he's out there fixing the mound at 10 a.m. and doing all the little things behind the scenes to help us, you know, be in position. So leadership effort and attitude was Matt Brooks.
All right. You got a lot of good defensive plays during the week. Who do you guys pick for the defensive player of the week?
Let me see here. Yeah, that was it was Todd Elwood. I mean, when Woody makes that throw, it's kind of a signature play. You know, I thought defensively we fielded 977. I think we only made 3 errors last week. Defensively, we had a really good week overall. But you know, the play at the plate, you know, Woody to AMAC, I thought that was huge.
Yeah, that play ended up being D1 Baseball's top play of the week. We got some national recognition for that.
Yeah, it was really
cool. Next award you guys give out is Quality At Bat of the Week.
Yeah, that Quality At Bat leader was Will Butcher. Butch was 7 for 15 on the week. You know, I know obviously Austin had a good week. You know, McCabe had a great week. A bunch of guys did, you know, so that it's always good when you have a number. Aaron McKeithen had a great week. You know, there's a number of guys that had a really good week for us, but overall, just our quality at bat with how we scored and factor, Will Butcher was the winner.
Yeah, the good thing with all these awards is you got plenty to choose from on every category. So our position player of the week. He's covered. I'm assuming Austin Knight, but tell us,
Austin did win our position player of the week. Yeah, he was awesome.
Man, that was a good choice for y'all.
Yeah, it was tough.
He only batted 429 on the week with 3 doubles and 10 RBIs, 7 runs.
I feel like, so that's, you know, we give out you know, the dugout card. You know, when we win a game, we give out the dugout card to kind of our player of the game. And honestly, I feel like just, you know, I feel like we could give Austin, you know, Austin could have like probably 15 dugout cards, like 20 dugout cards right now.
You could have them bound into a book.
It's kind of like, all right, Austin, well, you had a great game, but we're going to give the dugout card to somebody else. So he understands.
Well, it was nice to see him finally win Conference USA Hitter of the Week. Add that hard work to the resume for probably a Player of the Year type resume in Conference USA. Let's move on to the mound. Your pitching awards. You got the whip leader, starting pitcher of the week, and the reliever of the week. Coach.
Well, our starting pitcher of the week. I mean, it was really, really tough, but had to, you know, Brooksy taking it was a no-hitter, but it was basically a perfect game because the one batter that reached base got picked off, or or caught stealing. So, Brooksy was our starting pitcher of the week.
And you really didn't have much of a reliever on Sunday, but you did have a few on Friday and during the App State game. Who'd you guys go with for reliever of the week?
Hold on, I got it over here. Sorry. We had a bunch of guys that had one appearance, but we felt like Christian Lothus came in and had big appearances. So he was our reliever of the week. But we felt like, we want to acknowledge that, I thought Gus Hughes and Nick Turnbull came in and threw great. I thought those two guys, they came in, they looked really good. You couldn't see really any rust on them at all. They looked fresh, they looked ready, and I'm excited to see those guys back in there again.
Realistically, the way it turned out in the end, if you get, a couple more plays strung together, a couple more hits strung together, you look back and you talk about those guys keeping you in it.
Yep.
Because you had your opportunities late.
Absolutely.
All right.
You want to jump on to Ask Coach Woody?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a suggestion here because we've got a great Ask Coach Woody question.
Awesome.
And let me throw this in first, and then I'm gonna make a suggestion. So here's what's going on Twitter right now. Mark Cologne was tweeting about the Panthers draft picks and who he wants, and the Panthers getting a left tackle.
Okay.
Randy, who we heard from earlier, Randy Peterson, replies to him and says, "Hey, you're missing Coach Woodard on Diamond Niner Weekly priorities." He tells Mark to get his priorities in order. Mark replies and says, "I know Woody's priorities. See ball, hit ball, catch ball, score early and often. Go Niners." So that's what's going on Twitter right now.
That's awesome.
Here's my proposal. We got to get Coach Woody. I hope he's going to bed, but he's probably going to study Old Dominion. This week's Ask Coach Woody question is about the upcoming weekend. So why don't we let Kevin, see if you agree on this here, why don't we let this week's Ask Coach Woody question also be our Charlotte 49ers Grand Slam Club look at the week ahead? We'll kill two birds with one stone. We normally talk about the conference standings and the matchups of the weekend. Let me summarize that for anybody who's been under a rock. We're on top, and if we're going to stay on top, we're going to have to take care of business against Old Dominion in Norfolk, Virginia this weekend. There's your Conference USA wrap-up. So, Kevin, how about you bring us the Charlotte 49ers Grand Slam Club look at the week ahead, Ask Coach Woody question. How about that?
All right, I will. Nick, you always tell people on our show that they see us at the Hayes, come up and talk to us and introduce themselves, and that happened quite a few times at the Hayes this weekend. One of the guys we talked to, Michael Player, he has a question of the week for Ask Coach Woody. Michael asked, do you approach this weekend series different than any other weekend series since you've already played ODU 4 times within the last week?
That's a great question. No, not really. We feel like the processes that we've put in place as far as practice and preparation and game planning and, writing out the lineup and, bullpen usage and all those things, they've been going pretty well. So we're going to try to stick with the things that have gone pretty well for us. We've changed some signs. We've changed some, I'll give, numbers from the dugout as far as like offensive plays and, mental cues or mantras. And so we had to change a bunch of numbers in case they were, writing any numbers down, last weekend. And just making sure that our signs don't get taken. So it's more kind of like gamesmanship, systematic stuff. We've changed. But as far as our approach and, our intensity and throttle, that's all going to be the same.
You've already had a week of preparation prior to this. Was this week more of a fine tuning, kind of like you did Saturday? You had a day off, regrouped, saw some things on Friday that you wanted to do or take advantage of. Now you had a week between. Were you doing that this week?
Yeah, I mean, Monday was, a typical Monday for us, as far as just guys getting treatment, and had optional lift and open indoor and open field for guys. Every player is a little bit different this phase. Some guys, there's some guys that need, more lifting and more hitting and more reps. And then there's guys that need a little bit less lifting and less hitting and less reps. So Monday is kind of for each guy to sort of really kind of decide what they need to do as far as being ready for Tuesday. Obviously Tuesday was a game, and we got back late. So we didn't start practice till a little bit later on Wednesday, and we shortened it a little bit. So, but we stayed on our pretty general Wednesday. We do with, pitchers who need to throw, they throw a lot. We usually scrimmage. We did live at bats to get our guys off their feet a little bit. So there are kind of our guys who've been on their feet a lot are not on their feet as much. So instead of a scrimmage, we did live at bats. And then after live at bats, we did what we do is a green-black drill, which is it's kind of about a 45-minute drill with 4 rotations of a big, what's called a hack attack. We put a big hack attack on the mound, and it's a machine that can shoot a more simulated fastball that we're going to see in a game. So it's more of a challenge for our hitters than if a coach throws. And we'll put the big hack on the mound and challenge our guys, but that's also where we get a lot of good base running reps. And we think that that's where, we put a heavy emphasis on getting better in base running each week in that drill. So, and in my experience over the years, we did a very similar drill at UNC when I was an assistant coach there. When we would take a week off from that drill, it usually didn't go how we wanted to that weekend. So we make sure, even if we're a little bit tired, even if we're tired and we have to modify that drill a little bit, we'll still get it in to kind of stay on our same rhythm. And then we had a really good, our normal Thursday bus ride up to Norfolk and our normal Thursday evening practice, which, today was very normal. The guys, they looked good. They looked fresh, looked ready to go. It's more about just managing ourselves and making sure that, from a gamesmanship standpoint, that, Old Dominion is not able to go watch film or make any notes from in the dugout last week and know that, this sign means this, or this sign means that, or this count they do this, or this count they do that. And just make sure that we're able to flip the script on them if we need to.
We appreciate the question, Michael. It was great meeting. We met Michael, we met Mark, we met some people. Michael said, he said, I've actually been listening to you guys since it was just you guys and producer Brad, to which I said, well, first, thank you. And second, I'm sorry. But everybody agrees that with Coach Woody on the show, that this is, much more, it's much more informative. I'll promise you that. DW wrote in. DW has nominated Coach Woody for Panthers left tackle. I'm going to admit that, and I'm going to suggest that if the Panthers are looking for some O-line help and they're looking at the Charlotte baseball squad, they might want to go talk to Hale Sims.
Yeah, that would be a better option. Yeah,
I think Hale could get in some people's way.
I think Big Country is a better option.
Yeah,
there, DW.
I like
DW.
Yeah, DW. He's always got something pithy comments. All right, Coach, we're gonna get you out of here. We always give you the last word here. Big 4-game series, Old Dominion starting tomorrow afternoon, 3:30. Doubleheader on Saturday, finale on Sunday. What you got for us?
Yeah, no, I just obviously our guys, two things. Obviously our guys are really excited about the weekend. But it's not lost on our coaching staff and our players and our program, everybody affiliated, that we're coming up, on the 2-year anniversary of a pretty significant event on our campus. And I remember exactly where I was when I got the news. And I'll just say that even though I was not a 49er when that event occurred, I know my heart and all of our coaches' hearts and all of our players' hearts go out to the family members and everyone involved and affected in that event 2 years ago. So our hearts and thoughts will be with everyone this weekend back on campus.
Amen. Amen. Well said. All right, folks, that's going to do it. If you're not fired up for some Charlotte baseball, we can't help you. That's going to do it for us. Time to jump on ODU again. We love hearing from you all. Feel free to reach out. Having folks in the chat this week has been fun. Y'all keep that up. That makes the show even that much better for you guys chiming in. So feel free to reach out any of our social media platforms. And if you're old-fashioned like us, just keep saying hello at the Haze. We're getting more people in all the time, and it sounds like maybe some stuff's coming down the pipe. We're going to get even more people in the Haze before this is all over with. So keep your eyes peeled for that. So come say hi to us when you get to the ballpark. That's going to do it for us, folks. We're out of here. It's time for another weekend of Niners baseball. Until next time, we'll see you at the Haze.
Go Niners.